8 days later, on June 10th, I get arrested for possession of crack cocaine by those same officers. The same officer that arrested me for a robbery smacked me in my face in the courthouse. They were like, positive ID, lock him up. We didn't catch Sullivan with nothing. We have to say that he swallowed it. That shit you didn't faze me, my brother. Like, what you did to me was give me more fuel to be the person that I am now. You have to take the paintbrush and paint your own narrative. So that way that black and white letters and those pictures they paint of you can have some color and people could actually really see. These kids were starving. They didn't know what penny vodka was. They didn't know what any of the shit was that was there. They didn't understand what any of it was. They wanted to take shit home for their brothers and sisters.
Welcome to another powerful episode of the Off the Count podcast. I'm your host, Jason Abreu, founder of Made Up North, a movement built on freedom, redemption, and second chances. Today I have my good friend, my good brother, Danny Sullivan, also known as OP, an author, the founder of Prevention Before Apprehension, a leader in the community, and someone who pours out daily to the youth. OP, my brother, thank you for being here. I appreciate you pulling up, man.
Thank you for having me, my brother. I appreciate it. It's long overdue.
It is long overdue, OP is someone, that I was fortunate enough actually to meet throughout my journey, and we connected. And he's someone who has always shown me nothing but love and support, always trying to push forward the movement, the mission, always trying to connect me with right people, to continue to push everything that I'm doing. It was through him I had the opportunity to actually get on the Pistol Pete Dog on the Yard platform. So thank you to him. Thank you to Pete and the whole team over there also doing great things. But, little did I know, here is my good brother, OP, doing all these things behind the scenes, and come to find out he himself has a very powerful story, one that definitely needed to touch this platform. If you've been locking in with these episodes, you already know that this platform is all about transformation. It's all about breaking the cycle. It's all about not letting things, that happened to you in the past define who you are today, but instead using those things as fuel, taking that pain and really finding your purpose. And that's exactly what my guest did today. So let's kind of get into his story, and I'll let him more or less get into the great things he's doing, how that came about, So before we get into those things, OP, I want you, if you could tell the listeners, the viewers out there a little bit about yourself, growing up, where you from, and what kind of upbringing did you have, and how did that play a role into molding you into the man you are today?
Born in the Bronx. We moved to Yonkers, I think, when we were in the third grade or something.
All right.
Somebody that got killed on the block, so my parents, this ain't for us, we got to move.
All right.
So we moved up to Yonkers. When we moved up to Yonkers, we lived on the north side. So I didn't really know what, north side and south side.
How old were you when you moved to Yonkers?
It's in the third grade, so that had to be what? Kindergarten, fifth, sixth, and maybe
like 8, 9, yeah.
8,
Okay.
9 years old. So we lived on the north side. Lived with my mother, my father. My father's a working class man. He instilled those values in me. My mom always had a great heart, always giving, doing the right thing. That's installed in me. So, at the end of the day, man, I learned from my parents. And I didn't understand at that time, how the teaching that they were giving to you could impact your life.
Yeah.
In the end, where you're at now.
Of course.
So, then my mother and father passed away a year apart on the same day. So me and my brother moved to the south side of Yonkers.
All right.
And that's where I'm at now to this day. And that's where all my trials and tribulations occurred because of, people don't like to see you around minorities or, they look at you like you're supposed to stick with your own kind. And I'm not talking about people in
In general.
General. It's like more of the law enforcement, like it's like you're not supposed to be with these kind of people or these color of people, and I think that's negative because if you're a good dude, color don't matter.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you're a good dude, like you shouldn't judge somebody on how they look, on anything like that, bro. It's just it's whack how society is, man. Like, but that's how we was living, bro.
And OP, sorry to interject, but I'm glad you sharing that because I know when we got on the phone, to set up and coordinate the time for the sit down, you got into details about your story, about certain situations that happened to me, that happened to you rather, right?
Yeah.
And I remember immediately I said, absolutely, we have to lock in this date and we have to have this sit down because your story, I know is definitely needed and a lot of people could take a lot of things from it, such as the main factor, the main purpose that I got from it is like, in life, we're going to get tested. Things is not always going to go our way. And people, unfortunately, are going to try to bring us down. And in that moment, you're going to have a choice. And you made the choices to keep pushing forward. But what I get from what you're saying, I actually witnessed that in prison. So that's why I said I appreciate you touching up on that. Like the officers in there, they didn't like to see, for example, like certain groups eating or hanging out or affiliating. Is that kind of what was happening in your neighborhood?
Let me go back for a second. It's that I came here to tell my story, right? Because too many times stories like mine fall on deaf ears, and people stay silent and just fall victim and let them get away with it. I said to myself, like, I can't be one of them because if I speak up for a Jason or I speak up for a Pete or I speak up for anybody, by what happened to me, I'm speaking up for everybody. So at the end of the day, when I say what happened to me, it's going to open the doors for other people to feel comfortable. And when they feel comfortable, then strength comes in numbers. So if we speak out on what happened, they can't shine no more because it's whack how they get to retire, how they get to like go with their families and nothing happens. But think about if what they did to us,
the damage
happens to their kids, or if the setbacks in life happen to them, they wouldn't like it. So when they sit there, they laugh, ha ha ha, look what we did to you. You didn't do anything to me. You made me more stronger, and you made that shit. That shit you didn't faze me, my brother. Like what you did to me was give me more fuel to be the person that I am now and understand more. Because at the time I didn't understand what was going on, but I knew it was happening. Now like somebody must have hurt them because hurt people, and it hurt them to see somebody that's a Caucasian with minorities. So maybe somehow down the line something happened with their parents that was installed in them, but it's whack, bro. Like,
it is. I'm telling you, the similar situation up north. I remember one kid that was in my housing unit. Actually, when I was up in Watertown, they beat him severely because they saw him cooking. A Caucasian, he was cooking with the Hispanics and the African Americans, and they didn't like that. So they pulled him down to the sergeant's office, and they used that as an excuse to say that he was gang affiliated, and he wasn't. Up north, you meet a good solid brothers, so obviously y'all gonna be doing time together. Y'all get into a routine, like I'm gonna cook with these dudes, I'm working out with these dudes. That didn't sit well, and I know that was like the situation with you. So, like, let's get into OP.
Well, they used to come through in the cop car and on the microphone shout out racial slurs, like.
For no reason, just picking with you.
Not me.
With everyone in general.
Everybody, if you was on the corner, they would call you what skin color you were on. Yo,
of course.
And it's like I don't condone that. So when I speak up, it's like now, oh, look at the short thumb. Look at him now. Look at this guy. He's standing up for the minority. He not supposed to do that. I never seen no other way.
Of course, because you who you is,
Bro, in Yonkers, I could go anywhere I want and get love from any walk of life. I treat like the base head as Mr. Basehead because at one point he was somebody. Not saying he's not somebody now because everybody got their demons, but you have to treat people, with respect. Like, yeah, it's easy to make fun of somebody, but it's harder to ask that person, yo, where did you go left? Let me help you go right. Because somebody might have just made that left turn because they had nobody to speak to. They need that help, bro. Come on, man. At the end of the day, if you went to therapy back in the days, you was considered a weirdo. So you like, look at this weirdo. You say, yo, where you going? I'm going to therapy. I'll see you later. Now people look at you and like, oh, he going to therapy. It's cool now.
You trying to better yourself. Yeah.
But back in the days, you say, yo, I'm going to speak to a psychiatrist. Either you crazy or you want Ritalin or school appointment. Yeah. Like, you like, yo, what's wrong with this dude?
And like I said, I know when we were chopping it up, OP, you got into, details with me that I was like shocked. I couldn't even believe it. It wasn't once. It was like a buildup of several occasions, So I want to kind of get into that. Like, when was the first time, OP, that you had a run-in with the law, and how did that play out, and how did that continue to affect you as you were, getting older and going on in life, like? Because I know it was like a snowball effect from when we discussed and you was telling me.
Yeah, it's like, all right, look, September 2nd, 2003. Pardon me. I went to the bar up the street from my house. I was unemployed. I just had operation on a hernia. So I really couldn't do much. So I went up the street to the bar, had a couple of drinks. There was a stripper in there, bro. Like, at that time, everybody went to Sue's. I didn't have Sue's money to go to Sue's. So I said, let me go up the street, have a few beers, look at the women in there and all that. I did not know that there was a gentleman in there that was about to get robbed by other people. I'm not going to rob you, bro. I got no business robbing somebody, taking something from somebody, because I don't know if that's your last. I don't know if that's for your kids or whatever you got. That's your bread, bro. You work hard for it. If you rob somebody to have that money, then you did work somehow, some way, because you robbed that. You put that work in to get that money. Whatever you got to do, legal, illegal, whatever. I'm not taking nothing from nobody. So I came out of the bar. I said, let me go to the 24-hour bodega. I came out the bar, bro. I made a left, walked down the street, made another left. I was at the bodega. The police report said that the guy was robbed across the street from the police station.
And you're nowhere near that?
No. He came out of the bar and made a right. I made a left. Never seen a guy in there. So when I'm outside the bodega, I'm eating. The police pull up and say, yo, get against the wall. You fit a description of a robbery suspect. I said, huh? Like, I didn't understand. And another cop car pulled up and said, yo, go back to the victim's house and bring the victim. They had me and another kid there. Across the street, there was several people there, bro. So I'm like, why y'all targeting me? But I already knew what it was from.
This was just a buildup from everything else. Them just not feeling a certain type of way. You being Caucasian, chilling with certain other individuals.
Mind you, the guy that I'm hanging on the wall with, I never seen that dude a day in my life.
You had no idea who he was?
No. Never seen the dude a day in my life. So they sent the other cop car back to get the guy. There's no guy. We were in there 15 minutes. Where's he at? You searched me. I didn't have no money in my pocket, nothing. They said that he was robbed of a cell phone and money. I didn't have a cell phone or the money. That should have been the end of it right then and there. They wrote my name down in a memo pad. Told me to go home. As I'm walking home, I walked the same path that I walked to get there. Same path, bro. A car comes speeding down the block. Stops right in front of me. He's like, yo, I just got robbed. Help me. Like, did you see some guys? So I'm like, looked in the car. I said, oh, shit, that's the guy.
The cops were talking about.
Yeah, but watch. He works in the laundromat where I do my laundry at. That's why he stopped and asked me if I seen people. He seen a familiar face. I told him, bro, I just got stopped. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm going home. I went home. Like, A half hour later, the police called me because they took my name, my
Yeah,
ID,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
number, and all that. I didn't know any better, bro. They was like, "Oh, we need you to come downstairs." So I'm like, "Come downstairs for what?" So I look out the window and I see the cop car there. I said, "Let me not bring any issues to the home because my brother's here. I don't want no trouble."
Let me just comply.
I went downstairs, but I already seen one cop on the left side of the door, the other cop on the right. So I said, when I come out, I'm gonna just put my hands up. I don't want to get, tackled on the floor or give them a reason to beat me or anything. So I come out, I put my hands up, put handcuffs on me, bring me to the car door, put me in the car door. I'm held by two cops. The guy comes in the back of the police car and he says, "That's the kid that I know from the laundromat. That's the kid that I just spoke to and asked him to help me if he seen anybody." They was like, "Positive ID, lock him up." Bro, I'm like, what?
Wow.
The man ain't say that, so now I'm trying to argue like, yo, bro, like, what did y'all do? Like, what is? I walk by this man's house. I'm telling him I walk by this man's house every single day. I see him when I do my laundry. I have conversations with him.
And this guy never made a statement like, "Oh,
He did make a statement, but I'm gonna get to that. So now watch this. They take me from my house back the same way that I walked to get my food, back the same way that I walked to get to my house, drove me through my block where I hang out at. Everybody's looking at me like, "Oh shit, like he's in the, what the hell he do? Like what?" So they drive me up the hill to this kid's house. So I'm like, why are we stopping here for? What's here? Like, what's going on? They told the kid that I was hemmed up with to come downstairs. The guy said, that was him. That's him. That's the Spanish kid that did it. So I'm like, the whole time I was really hemmed up with the guy that did it. And I didn't even know that he did it. So he must have been with the people that were across the street or something and just walked in the store and they grabbed both of us.
Okay.
But I find it as a coincidence. Like, but so then he gets positively ID'd. They take us now to the detective division. So right away, I tell homie, yo, bro, you better admit I ain't have nothing to do with this shit. The whole ride, he's silent. The whole time we in the cage together, he's silent. I'm like, yo, I'm not to fuck this dude up. Like, but I'm a non-confrontational person, but now it's going to go that route because
he's acting on like,
yeah,
ignoring
like, what are
you.
you doing? Like, what's going on? So then the detective comes. He said, "Oh, we're gonna have to." I'm not saying shit. He tried to put one of the Miranda rights cards in front of me. I said no because you want me to sign this to sign my rights away. I pushed it back. He got upset because they want to trick you like you have the right to remain silent. When you sign that card, you actually signing your rights away.
All right.
You understand that? Did you really know that?
Yeah.
Because a lot of these young kids don't know that.
That's good you sharing that. Yeah.
When they tell you to sign that Miranda card, they'll tell you that
you have a right to an attorney or whatnot.
Do you understand the rights that I am telling you? And you say yes. They'll tell you to sign that card, but you're really signing those rights away.
Okay.
You understand? So now anything that you say can be used against you. So now they're going to interview. So when they interview, you sign that away. You have the right to a lawyer.
Now they could use everything against you.
They tell you you have a right to a lawyer. You sign that. You sign all your rights away.
All right.
I ain't signing. Hell no. That's one thing I always knew. Never sign nothing. Don't speak to law enforcement. I don't condone snitching. What I do condone is beating the shit out of a snitch. And I don't promote violence, excuse me, but I think they're the worst form of life. But that's negative talking. But, so they wound up taking us to city jail. From the detective division to city jail. In my whole mind, I'm like, this Friday night, there's no rap sheets, no nothing. I'm not going home. So this is a robbery too. So now from the robbery too, we go to court the next day. They didn't have a rap sheet. Remanded to county jail. So now we get in the wagon to go to county jail. He's right next to me. He's like, yo, what's up, bro? Now he wants to talk.
And he wasn't saying nothing at all.
Nothing, man. I'm like, yo, I'm going to fuck this dude up. Watch. We get in the bullpen. He asked to be separated from me. I'm like, yo, this is funny style shit. But not knowing that when we got to the bullpen, there was other kids that I knew from Yonkers in the bullpen. So I'm basically telling him, like, yo, I don't know this kid. I think he told on me or he put me in the middle of some shit. Now they want to beat him up. Then I'm like, yo, I can't do that. That's another charge. So I'm like, that's not, whatever. So then we go upstairs, 4th floor, 4 Northwest. He's downstairs. I'm on the top chair. He's down. I can see him. He don't come out at all. The whole weekend, he don't come out. So I'm like, what's wrong with this dude? I think he knew what he did and he was scared and he didn't want to admit. But hold yourself accountable for your actions, bro.
1,000%.
Don't do that. So we go back to court on Monday. They had a rap sheet. They set a bail at $10,000 cash or bond. I just told you that I didn't have a job because I had surgery. I was out of work. I had unemployment, bro. I didn't have no bread. So I'm like, $1,000. That was a lot of money back then.
Yeah.
So I'm like, hell no. Like, so back to Valhalla we went. Back to county jail. So the whole time I'm sitting there and I'm thinking in my head, the lawyer didn't say nothing for me. I gotta get my way. Like, learn how to get from my cell block to the law library to try to learn something when my next court date comes. I gotta figure out what a robbery 2 is. All I know is it's a big felony.
So like no form of help. Nobody was trying to help you, like a lawyer.
I had a legal aid. Then I'm thinking in my mind, like, I got a lawyer. He's gonna do something. He didn't speak up for me. He was agreeing on what the district attorney was saying.
You know how that goes, especially with them legal aids.
But this was like my first real issue with the law. So I'm like, this dude ain't saying nothing for me. I'm lost, So I said, I gotta learn, man. So I went to the law library. I was asking the guy that's there a few questions and stuff. He gave me a few things to read. I still didn't understand it. So when we went back to court the next time, I showed the lawyer that I took the initiative to find stuff. So I think that's when he started applying himself, because I think they just want you to plead out and don't want to fight for you. So I started showing him, like, yo, bro, I didn't forcefully take the dude's property. Well, I didn't take his property at all. But one of the elements is like forcefully taken. So I showed him that. I said, the guy said he gave it over. So if he said in a statement that he gave it over, how did I forcefully take something? I didn't threaten him. He didn't say there was no threats. But I never took his property. I'm telling you straight up.
I know. I mean, you said that when they searched you the first time, you didn't have nothing
on me. So now we go back to court. He said, sit tight. I'm gonna go in the back and have a conference.
All right.
So I thought I was going to the conference with them. You know, they go back there too. So I was like, I want to go too, because I think I could speak better on my behalf and let them know that I didn't do it. So it don't work like that. So he came back and he was like, yo,
an offer, trying to give you an offer.
Yeah, they tried to throw an offer at me. I forgot what it was, but I said, no, I didn't do anything. Back to Valhalla.
So you was there for, like, how long you was there fighting this situation, dealing with this situation?
No, it was, they kept giving me back-to-back court dates for some reason. And that was confusing to me, because I thought it was going to be spread out. So finally, my brother's friend put up the bail money and I got out. So right away, I had came into some money. So I went and got myself a paid lawyer.
Okay.
That was the worst thing, because the legal aid was better than the paid lawyer. I wasted $3,500 on a scumbag that didn't do nothing for me, because I kept saying no to everything, so they dropped it down to a petty larceny. The lawyer said the man positively identified you. Nothing that I was saying to them counted. Nobody cared. Nobody gave a shit. You're in a situation. You're in that situation by yourself. There's nobody coming to save you. Nobody gives a shit, bro. You know that.
Of course, and I'm glad you saying that. So a
Nobody
reminder
cares,
for the returning citizens and for the youth out there. In
bro.
case they have no idea what they signing up for. Ultimately, when you in that courtroom, I tell them all the time, by yourself. Nobody cares.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something that's crazy. Go to clubs with everybody. You hang on the block with everybody. Do everything with everybody. Get locked up. You turn around. Maybe your brother's there, your sister's there, your mother's there, your grandmother's there, somebody. My brother was there, and the guy's father that bailed me out. When I walked out, he stood up, and the court told him to sit down. He didn't know. He just knew he had to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And I said to myself, like, where's everybody at? I thought I would have had an audience or something. Not saying like to applaud me because I got locked
But
up.
of course, that hits
Yeah.
hard. Of course, you like, damn,
Yeah.
where all the homies at? Where the shorties at?
Bro, you in the back of the bullpens, you praying, please let me go home. God, you know I didn't do this, man. Please let me go. Like, you start praying to everybody, and then you become so religious, bro. And you never said a prayer in your life, haven't been to church in years. You like, Lord, like, why me? But I found out that some of the toughest battles are given to the toughest people. And
Absolutely.
at the end of the day, things happen because you need to surround yourself around positive people. Because you surround yourself around negative people, you don't have a circle, you have a cage.
Mm-hmm.
So when you trapped in that negativity, a lot of negativity is going to happen to you. So it opened my eyes. So back to what happened when they offered the misdemeanor.
How did that play out? What you went up north, or you did time? Or
I took it.
All right, so
I
you got
took
probation,
it.
right?
But watch, the kid that I got locked up with, he bailed out way before me. So he wound up having to do probation. I got time served with everything.
Cause you was there all them days going back and forth.
Back and forth. But I remember the DA saying, this kid is a headache, bro. He ain't gonna budge. Like, he's gonna fight this tooth and nail. Let's just give this to him. But now, let me break this down to you. As I got older, I learned how to forward request shit. So I got all the paperwork. As I'm reading it, the paperwork has no physical description. The statement says nothing. All he says is the white guy. One statement from the cop says several males fit in the description. The other statement says 2 males fit in the description. The several males were the kids across the street, but they were never, detained or nothing. I was detained.
All right.
So how is that possible if it says several males and there was 3 people that robbed them? You only arrest 2 people, but across the street everybody was a suspect because everybody fit the description. It makes no sense.
No, of course.
Makes no sense. Then, if you remember what I told you, it says that I was arrested first at my place of residence. They had me arrested by the scene of the crime because remember what I told you was
when you came out, that they took you, then they took your name, your info on the notepad, and they let you. Yeah.
The guy, remember when I told you that the guy saw me?
Mm-hmm.
He must have seen somebody else, and I was arrested. They said I was arrested by the scene of the robbery when I wasn't.
Yeah, you left home.
I was in the residence, so the crime report and everything says that I was arrested at my place of residence. It says it all.
All right.
In the like the police reports and the victim statement, it says that I was arrested around the scene of the crime. That was their reason, so they can do a show up. A show up is like one person line up. They got the guy. Is this the guy? Yes, it's him. All right, lock him up.
Okay.
So now, keep in mind, I told you that I was arrested first. So they got me arrested second, and that other kid arrested first. So was that other kid really arrested? It makes no sense. All the paperwork is wrong.
All right.
Now, I'm saying this to say this to you now. I had a lawyer, legal aid. He didn't see any of this. I had a paid lawyer, $3,500 at that time. That's what you paid to go and wait for a lawyer. He didn't see any of this. Had they would have seen any of this, I would have had dismissed right away. The case would have been dismissed. Bro, they didn't dismiss shit.
So then, all right, so you get time served for this, and then you go home, and what happens next, though, OP? Like,
I said, the judge told me, he said, yo, the streets are not for you, young man. Like you escaped a felony to a misdemeanor. It's best that you get a job. So I listened to what he said because I'm like, yo, this is crazy. I need to get a job, bro. So I got a job as a mechanics helper in a garage, learning how to do mechanics. I'm like, this is cool. Like, this is something I wanted to do. God giving me an opportunity. I had a class C license at the time, CDL. So I said I want to get a B license. So like you got MTA out here. We had something up there called B line. So the B line basically was hiring. So I knew a guy that was gonna put me on.
I remember those buses. They were like double buses.
Yeah. So
right.
the guy said, I'm gonna put you on. Just get a B license or get the B permit. You can come here and we'll train you.
All right.
So I told him, I was very honest. I said, yo, I had a situation a couple of months ago. He said, go get the disposition from the court and bring it, fill out the application, attach it to show that the case is over. You know how.
Yeah, that you good. All right.
Yeah. So this is now June 2nd, 2003. I go to the courthouse. I'm happy as shit because now shit ain't rolling downhill. Now I'm walking up the hill and the shit is passing me. So I'm like, yo, I'm about to get a career job. In my mind, I'm thinking like, I think at the time I was 22 years old. I said if I work 20 years,
I could retire.
I
I'm good.
retire
I'm chilling.
by
Yeah.
41. I'm
So
like,
you
what?
good? You happy? You like? I
Yo.
put this other situation behind me already. I'm good.
Chalk it up as experience, whatever. Everybody got to go through trials and tribulations in their life.
Yeah.
You know, life is 360, 180 good, 180 bad. You got to go through the bad to get to the good. I'm like, this is my good. I get in the courthouse, bing, get to the second floor. I got to go to the criminal information window. As I look down the hallway, I seen the same cops that locked me up for the robbery, plus more that used to talk mad shit to me.
And this was when you were getting that deposition for the new job.
Yeah, like, and
wow.
I'm just like, I remember, bro. I said like, why, like, and it
you probably said you can't make this up, right?
No, I said this is a big red flag now because if I walk down here, it's like, you know when your parents said don't touch that, you're gonna get burnt. I know if I walk down there, I was gonna get burnt. So I'm like, damn, what do I do? I gotta get it. There's lawyers there, court officers, civilians, all kind of people. Bro, I walked past them. The shoulder king, boom, he bumped me. I tried to let it go, but as a man, I couldn't let it go. And thinking back now, I should have let it go and not said nothing. I said, yo, what's your problem, bro? Like, you know, I said, excuse me. You did that intentionally. Memory serves me correct. A couple of words were exchanged. The same officer that arrested me for the robbery smacked me in my face in the courthouse with people there and a camera facing it.
Right in this instant.
Yes. So I went off, bro. Like I went off. In the part 3 of the courthouse. Part 3 is there's one courtroom for traffic, one for arraignments, and part 3 for trial. Part 3 had a trial. I was making so much commotion outside because now I'm pissed because I got hit. Like, I can't come back because I'm going to lose.
Now you get another charge.
Yes.
You know, so you're in a compromising situation right there.
I feel like a bitch, bro.
Yeah.
So now I'm standing there and I'm like, what do I do? Like, so I didn't really know that I was making that much noise, and I was. So the proceeding stopped in part 3. The court officers came out, like from part 2 and part 3. They like, yo, what happened? I just remember I'm sorry, bro. Like, this big ass lady was like, "Oh hell no, he smacked the shit out of him. You need to make a complaint." And in my mind, like, "Shut up, bitch! Like, you making this worse. Like, cut out. Like, what are you doing?" So the court officer was like, "Yo, what happened? Why you screaming?" Now I'm screaming at them. They're screaming at me. The cop is screaming. Everybody's screaming. It's a whole big mess in the hallway. So they was like, "Oh yeah, there's avenues to go about it. Internal affairs is on the 3rd floor." Once I heard that, right upstairs to the 3rd floor. I went to say, "Yo, what happened?" Because I thought I needed to make it documented. As I'm walking, the other cops say, "You know, if you make that statement, what's going to happen to you?" So I got to the 3rd floor. I seen a man coming out the room. I didn't know who the guy was. I didn't know. So I was like, "Oh, where's internal affairs?" And I'm screaming. Now 2 more cops came out. I didn't know that it was the commissioner of the police officer's door. And he was coming out of there. I was just mad. So they brought me back downstairs. I told them what occurred. Now court officers are with them. Cops are there. They take us downstairs. I said some cops just hit me. I don't know their names or badges. We got down there. They thought it was uniformed officer. It was court cops in like suits that were waiting to testify. So one of the cops, like, he became like really disrespectful. And one of the guys that was on the 3rd floor that came down with me was his lieutenant. And he's asking them, "Yo, what happened? Did somebody hit him?" He was like, "There's no show ups here." Remember what I told you about the show up lineup?
Yeah.
That was a reference to me because I beat the robbery charge. With well, I didn't beat it. It got reduced, and they wanted to stick because they wanted that, to stick on my record.
Okay.
So they was tight about that.
Yeah.
So I told them these guys hit me. So the guy was like, "Yo, ain't nothing gonna happen. You gotta make a complaint upstairs." So they brought me back upstairs to the 3rd floor. I made a complaint with internal affairs. From the rip, I knew nothing was gonna happen, bro. I knew it. So then I left, right?
Yeah.
I was still mad. I was still upset. So I went to the precinct, filed a complaint with their sergeant. I was just like, on some like, now it's my turn to get back at you. So that was June 2nd. 8 days later, on June 10th, I got arrested for possession of crack cocaine by those same officers.
The same ones that you saw that day at the courthouse.
And what I'm telling you is I have all the paperwork to prove it. So now the cop that hit me, the cop that arrested me for the robbery, hit me in the courthouse. Now the other cops that were in the courthouse with him that told me, "If you make that complaint, you know what's going to happen. Arrest me for the robbery. I mean, for the possession of crack cocaine." So it was 8 days later. So I'm outside minding my business. So as I'm outside minding my business, I'm standing on the corner of where I hang out at. I don't think their words. I should have thought their words were threats. And I knew there was going to be an action behind it. I thought maybe a little ass whooping or whatever. I didn't think it was going to be that. So I seen them coming up the street. It was like, I saw them. It was like how a deer, when they see the headlights, they freeze.
Yeah.
So I'm like, "Oh shit, let me run in the store." So I walked in the store. I went around this way. He comes around the other way. I bought a soda. He said, "Oh, he's swallowing crack cocaine, screaming and shit in the store." So I'm like, "Who? Like who's doing that?" Like, I didn't know he was talking about me. So when I get outside, they slam me against the wall, start choking me. All
It's
kinds
crazy,
of shit.
man.
Yeah. So he said he's swallowing crack cocaine. He's trying to swallow. So the other cop hits me. So I'm like, "What the fuck?" Like, damn, bro, like, this is serious. Like, so now everybody's outside looking. There's no phones at that time to record anything. There's nothing.
So it's sad because it's your word versus them.
Yes,
versus their word.
Yes, but what was in my favor, and I want you to understand what I'm about to say. They said that I did not go to the hospital. I declined medical attention. That's what they said. But they said I did digest crack cocaine. Now, when they took me from the place where it occurred at to the jail, when we got there, you go inside the city jail. You go in. and you go to the right. I'm saying this to you now because I know you could relate to this. I felt like less of a man, bro, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because when we came in the jail, they have cameras on the bars, so they can see inside the cell, so you don't hang up or cut yourself.
Yeah.
So there's like 6 officers in front of this guy's cell 1. They put me in cell 2, but to get to cell 2, I had to pass by them. So the camera's there. They're blocking the camera. There's a white guy in there beating the shit out of a black guy that was handcuffed. He was a cop, fucking him up. He's like, take the cuffs off. I'll fuck you up. I'll fuck you up. Take the cuffs off. The cop, they stopped for a minute, but I'm in the second cell and I'm hearing boom, 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 bouncing him off the shit.
And these are the cops hitting the inmate.
The cops that brought me in joined in. So I'm like, I'm next. But in my mind, I thought that I could break the cuffs and help this man because he's screaming out of frustration and anger. And this is my first time seeing this shit. Like, so I could hear, like, you know how you bang on the cell and
Of course. I mean, you sharing the story now, and it's automatically taking me back to moments when I was incarcerated and I was subjected to the same thing, the same abuse, hearing guys crying, screaming for their life, you know?
Bro, they beat the fuck out of this guy, and I felt like less of a man because I couldn't do nothing to help him. And I didn't even know this brother, bro. I just wanted to help him, bro. I wanted to be like, yo, I couldn't even say stop, chill, because it would have came my way. And it's at that point, bro, I said, wow, man, they really have the power over us. Like, you beat somebody that's handcuffed, take the shit off and shoot the one with him. You ain't gonna do that because he would have fucked you up. I mean, they blocking the shit like that. They say resisting arrest when you come go up to county jail all fucked up. But he resisted arrest. But they were beating the fuck out of him, bro. Beating the shit out of him so bad, bro, that he looked like Martin when he fought Tommy Hearns.
Yeah.
Wow. And I never forget that, bro, because I couldn't do nothing to help him. I was just like, bro, and
how this, now you go back up there, though, P, dealing with all this abuse, right? How did this situation play out for you?
I'm gonna break this down to you because this is really fucked up, bro. When I was in the second cell, they bring you to the lieutenant. Like, they go to the right side when you come in. Then you go to the lieutenant. If you're gonna go home, they write the desk appearance ticket, and you can leave and fight your case from the outside, or you go to the left side of the jail, and then that's when you know you're staying. You gotta go through the whole process again: the court, vans, bullpens, and all that. They put me on the left side after I saw the lieutenant, right? So as I'm on the left side, there's a steps that go up to the women's unit. The cop didn't know that I was moved over to the left side. He's saying, yo, we didn't catch Sullivan with nothing. We have to say that he swallowed it.
You're hearing it.
I heard it all, bro. I heard it all. So I'm like, okay. So when they left, I told the guard that was there, I said, yo, I don't feel well, bro. He said, why? I said, they choked me out. I can't breathe. I need to go to the hospital. I only said that because I wanted to go and get my stomach checked because I know I didn't ingest anything. So I got a toxicology report that my
doctor.
No, they brought me handcuffed. I was an inmate in the hospital.
Okay.
So the toxicology report was negative for all kind of narcotics.
No drugs, no alcohol, no nothing. Clean. Clean as a whistle.
Nothing at all. So I stayed in the hospital. They said you're gonna have to get arraigned in the hospital. When they said that you can die in the jail because you ingested crack cocaine, that's what they said. But I know I didn't. They lied to them and said that I did, because they didn't want to put down that they choked me out and beat me before I arrived there. So I lied and said that I wanted to go there because I couldn't breathe. I just wanted to go there to prove that I didn't.
And have it on your paperwork for your records.
Yes. So then I said, yo, I want to leave. So I had to sign myself out. Now watch. Let's go back now to the robbery charge. The same cop that's on bed watch is the same cop that arrested me for the robbery's partner.
Wow.
So he said that I made an admission of guilt to him, that I had to swallow crack cocaine because I was going to beat this charge like I beat the robbery charge. I never spoke to that man a day in my life, bro. When he was in there, I didn't say shit to him. They came in there, took turns hitting me while I was handcuffed to the bed, beat me. I didn't say nothing to that man. He made that statement on his own, right? So now I go back to the court. Back to the city jail. They bring me up to court. Now I have a little bit of money to play with. But my brother was mad. This is what gets me upset because my brother is the only thing that I have in my life. I don't have no parents. Remember, I told you they died. So my brother thought I was like out there selling drugs and not like we weren't raised like that basically. Because my brother, the nicest way to put it, my brother's square. Like you know,
he does what he gotta do. He works, goes out, works, come home. Yeah.
So not to drag this out. So my brother bails me out, everything. He didn't even give me a ride home. I gotta walk the whole South Broadway from the courthouse home.
He's just holding you down because you his brother, but he ain't really trying to hear it.
He's tight.
Yeah.
So now I go and get my lawyer. Not the same asshole. I go and get a nice lawyer.
Yeah.
That is my friend to this day, and I look at him as my dad because he stood up for me. He knew what they were doing. So, one police report says that they approached me, saw me playing. They said when they driving up the street, they saw me playing with white substances in my hand.
Incredible.
I don't know, like, dude, I don't know what you have binoculars or something to see that, but they said when they approached, I attempted to put the crack in my mouth. Then my arm was struck, but I was in possession of 10. When they hit my hand, the 10 hit the floor. That's the police report. Now, remember I told you that he said that I denied medical attention because they said that I swallowed it. He found out later because he had already put in his police report and submitted it. The sergeant signed up. He had to write the felony complaint. So now he didn't know I went to the hospital the night before. So then he wrote the felony complaint that I had 10 cracks in my hand. I put some in my mouth, swallowed some. They struck my hand and 10 hit the floor. Jason, please do the math, bro. How can I have 10 in my hand, swallow some, and they strike my hand and some hit the floor, and the sum that hit the floor was 10? How can I be in possession of 10, swallow some, and 10 hit the floor?
And don't add up.
How did he say before that I attempted to swallow some, and now it became that he found out that I went to the hospital that I did? Makes no sense. So now this is the ongoing thing of that. Like, it's a retaliation for the complaint that I made against them and for hanging around people that they consider not on their level because their skin color or whatever. Like, so that was in June. So September comes around now. I go to the block. I think it's cool. Like, I go see some people. I say, what's up? I'm hanging out. I'm on the corner, right? I see one of the cops pass by that don't like me. Bro, when he saw me, he was like, his whole neck broke. Like, the whole 360 while he was driving. I thought he was going to crash into another car. My friend pulls up. He goes, yo, I just seen right now that cop was looking at you. Get in. I'm going to take you home. They're going to lock you up, bro. I said, I get in the car, the back seat. We made a left, and a left. Whoop, whoop, pull over. I said, what the fuck, bro? So they said they observed me sell him marijuana. That was their probable cause to pull him over. I didn't have no drugs on me. So they take us out the car, start searching us, everything.
They were bullying you.
Same cops. Cops. Now watch how this gets better. They search me, take my ID out, put my money on the hood, search my pockets, everything. They was like, okay, we saw you sell him marijuana. So I ain't sell nobody marijuana. They pop his trunk, take an ounce out the trunk. I ain't sell that man that shit. What you talking about? So now I get locked up with him. They impound his car. I feel really bad because that's my close friend to this day. I'm like, damn, I got his car impounded. And that was in 2003. He had a 2003 Acura.
All right.
So I'm like, he's going to kick my ass now. Like, I'm more worried about my friend getting his car back than my own well-being. So then they take us to city jail. They strip search us. I'm talking hella shit now. I already been down this path. I'm like, this is an ongoing thing. I'm talking hella shit. Suck my dick, all kinds of nastiness. Like,
So for how many years this was going on, dealing with the same cops the whole?
oh, this was the end of 2002. Then it goes into 2003 and stays in 2003. So now, but watch this. So they bring us to the right side again.
Yeah.
The right side. I'm like, oh man, like, what am I doing? Like, this is an ongoing thing. So then, bro, they bring us to the left side. My friends on the right side, they give him a desk appearance ticket. And they say to me, you're staying, you were in possession of 10 twists of crack cocaine. I like, 10 twists of crack cocaine? When did I have that on me? They said in a subsequent search, they found 10 twists in my right front pocket. And I think it's the right front. But it makes no sense because you took my money out. You took my ID out. You searched me. Put your hands all through my pockets.
They were just trying to put false accusations on you and trying to make you break, you know?
Yeah. And it was like, I remember the cop saying, oh, if you play ball, then you could go home now. I told him, shit, like, play with my balls, bitch. And that led to me getting punched in the face in the jail by him. But it was like a sign of disrespect because you're telling me to tell somebody to get out of the altercation that I'm in. I refuse to do that. Mm-hmm. Whatever happens, I'm aware as my own man. Even if I didn't do it, I'm still gonna ride that wave because it's God's plans, bro. Like, he put me in a situation, he gonna get me out the situation. Mm-hmm. So that's how I felt. Yeah. So now I had 2 B felonies. I had to go back. My brother come to court. My brother's looking at me like, now my brother thinks I'm some kind of drug dealer that's out there making big money and shit. Like, and I'm just looking at him like, yo, just help me. Like, fuck this. Like, you know, I didn't do this. So here comes my lawyer again. My lawyer stands up for me. He said, yo, what happened? I told him, I said, you fucking guys, man, they're targeting you. So I got bailed out. I stayed away from the block, bro. The 2 B felonies got dropped down to 2 A misdemeanors. They gave me 3 years on probation. At this time now, I got my B license. So I was driving a school bus. So in order to keep they gave me a conditional, like, you know.
Yeah,
it's not course, it's not course. It's
like with restrictions that you could just drive.
No, it was with no restrictions. I forgot the name of it. I have to get back to you on that. All right. I'll probably think about it before I finish telling you the story. So he gets me that 2 A misdemeanors and that, but mind you, I had the paperwork that I didn't swallow the crack cocaine. I had the hospital records and everything. My lawyer wrote a motion to the DA. The DA was like, oh hell no, like, we ain't giving him shit. Either he takes this now or he's gonna get locked up. At the time, like, me and my brother shared the apartment, everything, so I didn't want to leave him there. And it's like I didn't want to how you say, like, what I'm trying to say is, like,
you don't want to. I didn't want to stuck in a situation where
I didn't want to play that tough role, like, like fuck it, I didn't do it, like, and jeopardize his
and life, prolong it. This, that. I get you.
So it's like they force you into that, right? But what really had me mad is that I had to prove that I didn't, you know, digest crack cocaine. They said 10 hit the floor, and I swallowed some, and I was in possession of 10. Everything was in my favor. My lawyer fought tooth and nail, bro, and they wouldn't budge. So I'm like, this is when I realized that the system's not for us. And at the end of the day, man, like, you know, these guys wrote false statements,
Yeah.
and they weren't charged with nothing, and it proved that it was false statements. So then I was on probation. I was on probation, bro. The lady's like, "Why are you here?" So I'm like, "The court told me I had to come here." So they're looking at me like, "Yo, bro, you have a job." And that time I was on a bus and I was going to valet park cars. I stayed out the way. Miss, I was about to say her name. I was going to say thank you to her. So she was like, "Bro, it's like a year or 2 months." She said, "I'm putting your papers in for early
That's
release."
great.
So she put my papers in for early release. But here comes those cops again. They found out that I was getting early release. So I was in a mechanic shop. I got hit with an endangering the welfare of a minor charge. Like, what? So then basically what happened was the kid said a Hispanic male did it and an African American male did it. Whoever's looking at this, you can tell I'm neither.
Mm-hmm.
All the statements
Yeah.
didn't add up. It was them retaliating against me. The same cop that locked me up for the second drug charge was the one that locked me up for that, and they just didn't want me out like that. So I had to This is like a whole bunch of stuff. Everybody that was a witness in the garage said that I didn't do nothing to the kid. I didn't touch him. Nothing happened like that. There was one kid that actually. That's why I don't condone rats, but and I wish his mother would have swallowed him. But sorry, but I know
it's cool.
we in the.
Nah, you opening up, you sharing your story. Yeah, man.
It's like the victim. Mind you, they picked me out of a photo array 18 days later after he said that it was a Hispanic male and an African American male. Then they said that he picked me out of a lineup, a photo array, a 6-pack. I was number one in there, and it was like, "Did he do it?" And that was it. Yeah. But let me just tell you real quick. The guy said that a guy put the knife to him and questioned him about stuff. Then when the kid that did the knife that wrote a statement on me, I said that I was the one that did it. The kid turns around and says, "That's the kid that put the knife to me." He looks like a Spanish guy. He was heavy set and all of that. He wound up snitching because he had somebody that worked in the courthouse, and one of his family members were politicians or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
That was swept under the rug. They threw it on me. So I went back to the probation lady. I told her, I was like, "Yo, listen, man." She was like, "Yo, if you get a violation,
you going up north.
You're gonna be in trouble, bro." She said, "So if you get a violation in court, like if you get it down to a violation, I'm still putting your paperwork through because I could actually see that you didn't do this." So I'm like, "Well, if you see I didn't do this, speak up." But then I realized you can't speak up, so I left it alone. So I wound up pleading guilty to like an harassment or something, which was a violation. Not to get violated, just a violation to pay a fine. Do like maybe 2.5 weeks after that, off probation, free. I was chilling. I was happy as hell. Everything good. So I'm like, all right, cool. So now I'm just trying to speed through everything. So then, I go back outside like a couple of years. I was going, around the block, hanging out with everybody, but then I just wanted to go out one day, so I went out with everybody from the block. The same. We was in an area that they said is gang related. I'm not in a gang, bro, but they could classify you as a gang member to make their story look better. All well and good. So as I'm in that area, we get hemmed up. They take our name down. Somebody got robbed in Manhattan. We're in Yonkers. So this cop puts the call out of the car and everything. It turns out that car was for a robbery or something. So they take me I'm in the house already. They come to my house. The same cop that I put the internal affairs complaint again, the other cop was the one that was in the hallway. So here comes the retaliation again. They took 2 of my friends. They separated me. They had me in the lunchroom, them chewing the thing. They say, "Oh, just tell us what happened. I don't know what happened, bro. Like now here goes back to the same thing. Like go fuck yourself or all
Yeah.
that. So now we get taken from Yonkers to Manhattan, you know, and then they're like, "Oh, you gotta go to a photo.
Lineup.
Lineup."
Uh-huh.
I'm not doing that. I want my lawyer. So
Mhm.
after that, they couldn't talk to me no more, touch me
All
no
right.
more. So I told my friend to say the same thing. He didn't say it. So they wound up going to Rikers for the robbery. So now I get the paperwork. Dude, it's so crazy. Like the same cop, they were really trying to like really fuck me over. He said that the victim said that it was a Hispanic guy, a black guy. That was my two friends. To this day, one passed away, God rest his soul, and the other guy, he's still out on. And they said it was a white kid, heavy set white kid, wearing a red and black varsity coat. I was nowhere there. He did the same time that they seen us, that we were supposedly in a gang area. That's how he got the
So
description
ID.
of me.
Yeah, no,
He
I
came
mean,
to my house and took
mhm.
me out my house.
I mean, anyone, that's listening, that's watching this sit down, OP, it's plain to see that they could see that obviously the abuse,
It's retaliation,
the
but
retaliation
I'm
was
gonna tell you
there.
one thing though, bro. I'm gonna tell you one thing that's gonna blow your mind. When he got on the stand, remember I told you he wrote in his police report that the victim told him that it was a Hispanic male, a black male, and a heavyset white male wearing a
Hmm.
red and black varsity coat. When he got on the stand, because my friends took it to a Wade hearing. The Wade hearing is the see if the identification was subjective. So he got up on the stand. He said, "Yeah, the victim told me that it was two Spanish guys and a black guy." Bro, you wrote in your police report that the victim told you that it was a heavy set white male wearing a red and black varsity coat. When you get on the stand to testify, you don't say nothing about me. You say that the victim now says back then that it was that. It makes no fucking sense,
No,
bro. It makes
no.
no sense, man.
It's OP, it's very sad and unfortunate, the things that you had to go through, and it's very sad and unfortunate how, yeah, these law officials do use their power and abuse it. Like when you look at their profession and what they sign up for, we're taught to believe that the job of a cop, of these law officials, is to protect and serve, not to abuse and bully, which is the case that happened with my guest here and him sharing his story. First of all, I thank you, for taking the courage,
I thank
to
you for
share it.
having, because like I told you before, too many times stories like mine fall on deaf ears. And if I could stand up for the other people, I got a friend, bro, that to this day he still can't get a job because of the record they put on it. I have another friend that they locked up knowing that his son was being born the same day, and they locked him up and took him away from seeing
Yeah.
his son being born in the first 5 years of his life.
It's unfortunate, and like that's why you see me reacting and making these facial expressions, because the things you sharing here, OP, is taking me back to my own memories when I was up north, because we see this on the regular. Like even that whole situation when you said that you went up, filed a complaint, whatever, in jail, they have what's called grievance. Like when you have a situation, I never played around with that because we already knew and we saw it firsthand. If an officer acted accordingly, he put hands on someone, the minute an inmate would try, to speak up and put that grievance on, the whole compound was on him. If you had beef with that officer that you put a grievance on, guess what? That was the worst thing you did, because now the
Man,
whole compound, and they would make sure, OP, they made your whole bit a living hell until eventually they got you out the spot. So it's a good thing that you sharing this. But most importantly, what I want to get into real quick, before we wrap up, OP, is that all these things happen to you, right? And
yeah,
anyone else going through these things too, and we got to call it what it is. This is trauma, like this is something that happened years ago, and obviously you still deal with it. You still dealing with it internally, mentally, emotionally, but you made a decision, not to stay stuck, not to stay on that count. Because you see, you didn't go up north, OP, but I've always, said this on the platform. Being on the count, yes, is about being in prison. But I'm not only talking about a physical prison, I'm talking about emotional
mental.
prisons, addiction, bad relationships,
A
and what you
mental,
mental, of course, and
physical.
physical, and what you went through right now, you was on the count, you was held back. And when did you make that decision though, OP, and you say, you know what, I'm not gonna let this hold me back. They want to keep me down. I'm gonna put my front foot forward, and I'm gonna do the work I'm doing now. Like, just to kind of highlight, as I said in the beginning of this, even though you went through these situations with the cops in your neighborhood, in your community, funny enough, you came back and you still in that same community, but now you're pouring back into the community. Like,
Out of my own pocket.
yeah, look, and I appreciate you. You brought me these books, Emotionally Disturbed Thoughts by OP. Danny Sullivan, he has Emotionally Disturbed Thoughts 1 and 2. He's an author, and one of the work that he does that really, really I take to heart, because it's aligned with everything I'm doing. He is a youth mentor and spends most of his time pouring in to the youth in his community and guiding them to avoid, that path of prison, that path, of gang life, of having putting yourself in a situation where it's not even prison no more. You might end up dead. And that's what he does with his spare time. So how were you able to use that, that fuel to turn that pain into purpose, OP?
Honestly, after the arrest, there was more after that of retaliation. And this to sum something up, man. Like, I fought, like I told you, to expose the truth. And when I had I wrote several letters to the commissioner. He wasn't trying to hear me. I exposed the commissioner at a function that he was at, and I was basically telling him, like, dude, you ain't doing shit for us, and this is happening. But he was actually a part of those are his friends and family.
Of course,
So
they're gonna look out for each other.
so basically, what happened was this. Now, like, I was on, like, dude, my navigation was set to exposure. Like, I had to expose the truth. That I felt like I can't beat them, but I could expose them. I'm always the biggest fan of, and I hope somebody listens to this. If you can't win in the court, you can always win outside of the court by exposing somebody for the dirtiness on why you got convicted, how you got convicted. So that was my biggest lane. So I wrote to the commissioner. He finally told Internal Affairs to investigate it. The guy that went down there, he lied to Internal Affairs. I brought the paperwork there that he lied. Internal Affairs swept that investigation under the rug again. The Internal Affairs is dirty. The captain of Internal Affairs is dirty. I have a picture of him with the same officers that he was supposed to be investigating with at the Yankee game, and they're all hugged up in the picture. Like, yeah. So 2 days after that, they sent me a letter and says my complaint has no merit. So, brother that you had on here, I don't even think I ever told him that, Jonathan J.O.
Yes.
We're from the same block. So one day he invited me to a function, and I really know what it was about. Like, bro, when I went there, they were talking to kids, and I don't know, bro. I'm just reliving it back now, and it's just like the shit that I see on that. It's like you see the shit on TV, like, give me change or whatever it is a month, and I could feel these kids really look bad, bro. And Jo bought pizza for them after the speech. I forget even what it was about, bro. I was just struck, like, on how, like, you might have 40 pairs of your sneakers in your closet or whatever you got, clean clothes and everything, and this kid got holes in his, like, in it.
It hit home, yeah.
Yeah, it was like, wow, man. And it brought me back to when my mother and father passed away a year apart. And me and my brother, the next day after that, we had to figure it out. We got to get an apartment. We got to do everything. Like, and through all the trials and tribulations, like, I vowed to myself, if I ever became in a position of power to help somebody, or even if I didn't have the power, I'm still going to help somebody, because at the end of the day, I would never want to see somebody go through what I went through if I could avoid that. So when I went to jail's function, he bought pizza, and the pizza was cut into, like, 16s. Not how a regular pizza is cut, like
I get
eighths.
like one slice turned into two
Yeah.
type. Yeah.
So basically, what happened was they broke it down, gave each kid a slice, but then these kids were still hungry, starving, bro. So I left that day. I left that day and I went home. I couldn't stop thinking about it, bro. So I remember it was on a Wednesday. That Friday, I went back to that place and I said, "Yo, excuse me, who's in charge here?" They said, "Why?" Like you just can't walk into a community center and say who's in charge
Yeah,
with
of
kids.
course. Yeah.
They gonna think you're a chomo or something. So I said, "Yo, like listen, man, I was here with Jo and 914 United and stuff, and I seen some things like I want to do a community dinner for the kids here and pay out of my pocket." I didn't know how to do any of that. I just felt like I was
Something you
obligated,
had to do. Like
bro. It was like
that moment
it fucked me up, bro.
yeah.
So I did it, right? I'm gonna tell you something that's gonna probably touch home. Like, so I invited two of my closest friends, right? Knew them for years. My friend and his wife came. She cried when she saw that. She ain't seen nothing like that, bro. These kids were starving. They didn't know what penny vodka was. They didn't know what any of this shit was that was there. They didn't understand what any of it was. They wanted to take shit home for their brothers and sisters. In the community that we live in, they only go to school to get breakfast and lunch. When they go home, there's nothing for dinner. So I'm a real advocate for somehow, some way, we have to feed these kids after school. You can't just come to school. You're not learning in school. Let's cut it out. Like out of 100 kids, maybe 20 kids learn something, get a degree, and do something. The other 80 are there because they're hungry and they need breakfast and lunch from the school. When they go home, they don't eat again to breakfast time. I think something should really be done with that, and that's something I'm trying to advocate for. But at the end of the day, man, like I did it. The backlash came heavy. He's funding this with drug money. He's a drug dealer because the same cops don't want to see you
Succeed.
no, they don't want to see you give back because they see what they do is they paint this black and white narrative of you. And a lot of people that are not from the community that we're from, they don't understand that you have to take the paintbrush and paint your own narrative. So that way that black and white letters and those pictures they paint of you can have some color and people can actually really see, because at the end of the day, bro, they're gonna say things about you and they're gonna control that narrative. So that narrative they put out about you is what's perceived of you without even getting to know you. So they're gonna say a lot of that. Jason's a scumbag. Jason's this. Jason sold drugs. He went in the club. He sold ecstasy to X, Y, and Z. He killed 40 people. Meanwhile, you ain't do none of that shit, but they're marking you.
They trying to blacklist you. And it's about you taking control of that pen and rewriting the story.
Exactly. So what I did was I created my own narrative, and I went so hard, and I didn't ask nobody for a handout, a dime, or anything. All these nonprofits were funding stuff like through government grants. I respect that, dope, but I knew I wasn't gonna get any funding. Nobody liked me. There was a time that the officer that actually heard my story and brought me to meet somebody in City Hall, and then 2 days later, he put a "Don't Let Him in City Hall" poster up with me. Why did you bring me there to tell my story then? But I knew I wasn't going to get funding from elected officials. So I said, let me go and do this on my own. Now, I'm going to make this short and sweet. I went to the mayor because I did a career day and I brought all these beautiful careers for the kids to see and gave them a chance. And, I brought a judge, and the judge actually from Yonkers gave kids a chance for a summer program to intern with him that wanted to become a lawyer or something. So
Nice.
it was a beautiful thing. So that I invited the mayor. The mayor came out. The mayor said, "Wow, this is beautiful. You did this." I said, "Thank you." I said, "But it don't stop here. These people are hungry." So I said, "Let's put $1,000 and get some food and have a community dinner." So I put up 500 the next day, not even waiting for him to accept it. And I, I wrote to his assistant. I said, "Yo, I put up my 5. What's up with this, the date, this and that?" He put up his 5. And ever since then, me and the mayor have been partners doing dinners and
That's
everything
dope.
for people in the community. And the first dinner, it's like we fed over 300 and something people, bro.
Beautiful.
$1,000 worth of food.
And let me ask you, P, you doing this through your platform Prevention Before Apprehension, right?
Well, see, I have a thing called Prevention Before Apprehension because I would like my main thing is like, okay, like I'm gonna use you as an example.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't take it the wrong way. Say Jason has $100 and then your wife, then you have your kids. So you have 100. Your wife needs 25 for something. Your son needs 50 for something. You have $25 to feed your family now for the rest of the week. So I'm preventing you from going to the store and catching a petty larceny for stealing a whole meal so your family could have something to eat for that night and the rest of the week. Because 9 times out of 10, a father's gonna do what a father gotta do if he has to steal it. So he's gonna go to the store and steal that meal so you could give your wife the money and your kids the money. You understand?
I got you, yeah.
So I call it prevention before apprehension because I'm trying to prevent Jason from going to steal. I'm trying to make that opportunity that you don't get apprehended. But I'm also trying to make that opportunity that you could come there and take as many trays as food home as you need. I had one lady come and she said, "I need 16 trays." One lady said, "Why you need 16 trays?" I said, "No, ask her. I give it to her."
Yeah, nah, that's dope, man. And like I said, I'm just grateful, like I said, OP, you took the courage, the time to come on this platform, share your story, and most importantly, that you didn't let the things that happen to you stay, keep you stuck. Because for the viewers and the listeners to hear out there, life, that's how it is. Unfortunately, we're going to be faced with circumstances that we have no control of. And in that moment, how you choose to respond is everything. It's like, for example, me, I went through my whole incarceration, not once, but twice. And I had to make that decision. Am I going to come back out here and stay defeated? Or I'm going to break free, which is what this whole movement is all about. Breaking free, breaking the cycle, transforming, change, growth. And that's what I chose, similar right here to my
What you just
guest.
said about breaking the cycle, bro? It on the block they classify us as gang members. But at the end of the day, we're brothers. Like we all have the same struggles, and none of the people that came before us showed us how to give back. So when you say breaking the cycle, I wanna teach the young kids that I help that it's okay. Like, see the Chinese food. You go to a Chinese store, right? You know how they flip the top, right?
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer that you cut the top off. That's why they make the flip. You put half the rice in there, some chicken wings for your man. Don't finish your plate before your brother ate.
Of course.
That's what I believe in. So I'm trying to install that in the kids to change the cycle of like, give back to your community.
You definitely, I see the great work you're doing along with, of course, the other good brother Jonathan, 914 United, and we definitely I'm looking forward for us to doing a lot of collaborative work. Like I told you over the phone.
You're always invited.
Yeah, definitely. I just actually launched this little Choose You campaign, which you and I are gonna get ready to do something with, because we're living in a day and age where these kids, they need guidance, and sometimes they just need a reminder, and they need to be reminded to choose themselves, their future, their freedom, their family over that one moment that could cause them their life. So you and I definitely have that alignment, trying to pour back into the youth and ultimately just trying to reach them before the system does,
Bro, you're gonna throw your whole life away for somebody that don't give a fuck about you. How is somebody your OG if they not trying to help you? Somebody that's 40-something years old is an OG to somebody that's 13 years old putting a gun in his hand, telling him to go shoot somebody.
You ain't a leader doing that,
You're a bozo, bro. You're a bozo.
When you hear OP, off the count, right? What does that mean to you? Off the count and making it count.
I look at off the count and making it count like you out the way, but you still in the way to make a change in somebody's life. Like at the end of the day, bro, like it don't matter if you just take a kid to the basketball court and shoot hoops with him, or like in your instance, you drive by the park, you see a kid doing pull ups or something, show him how to do a pull up correctly.
Of
Just
course.
show them something that you know, something that you were taught. Teach
Pass
them
it
that,
on.
yeah,
Mhm.
because there's so much that these kids they're afraid to be themselves, bro. They're afraid to say, "Yo, I need help." Listen to me. When I tell you this, bro, I go to therapy every Monday for shit that has happened to me in 2000s or whatever. Like I was telling you before, people think that they go to therapy that like in it that you're a weirdo, you're a bozo, something like that. It's like this. Remember back in the days when somebody wore tight pants? We
Mhm.
always thought they was a fag. I don't know if you say that,
Mhm.
but we always thought that were gay. Like, but now people wear tight pants. You know what I'm saying?
Of
Nobody
course,
calls
all
them
about
gay.
perception. Yeah.
So now it's how you look at things, it's how you perceive it. Like, cause look at this, bro. You go to therapy back then, you was a weirdo. You was all kinds of shit. Like, now people go to therapy and they brag about it. People wear tight pants and it's cool. Bro, everything that you see may not be for you or it may be for you, but don't judge the other person because they need it.
Mhm.
You know? Teach the kid, bro, you alright? No. That I'm a firm believer in this. Say good morning to somebody and might stop them from going to blow their brains out because
Mhm.
nobody said good morning to them and they're lonely. Just be nice and
Mhm.
humble, bro, and give back, man. Don't be a
Mhm.
scumbag,
I appreciate you sharing that. You heard OP, because before we wrap up, I just want to ask you one last thing. If you could just look right into that camera, and any bit of advice that you can give anyone who might feel stuck, who might feel like they're alone right now, that they dealing with trauma, anyone coming home out of prison right now trying to figure out, and most importantly, the youth that's stuck in between making a decision that might cost them their life and live with regret forever. What are the last few words that you could leave these people with, OP, if you could look
I'm
in
gonna,
that camera?
I'm gonna say this, man. Believe in yourself, and everything will fall into place. And don't worry about what that man or woman says about you or thinks about you, because that's their words and that's their thoughts, and you can't control that. If you try to control that, you're gonna lose a lot of valuable time trying to fix something that's broken on their behalf. They're broken and trying to bring you down to their level because at the end of the day, bro, that person is bettering themselves by belittling you, and then you fall victim to that stupidity when you could have, easily not fed into that bullshit
Mm-hmm.
and,
Oh,
continue to do what you do to better yourself. And when you kill them with, like, success, that hurts them most because they want to be like you.
I agree. I live by that phrase. Kill them with kindness.
Yeah.
Kill them with success and bury them with a smile.
Yeah, and you could always forgive, but don't forget because that same mistake that you did by for forgiving and forgetting, it could always come back to you because you forgave once and you forgot that what that
Exactly.
person did. That don't mean that they're not gonna do it again. So keep them on a tight leash, and those are like your closest friends, bro.
Yeah.
I don't even look at people, friends, bro. Friends are there for you when you're down, not when you're up. So the person that's there with you when you're down, they should be there when you're up. A lot of times
Absolutely.
people say, "That's my man right there. That's my man." You just met him. You don't know him. Cut it out.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate, OP, you leaving us with those last words. And like I told you, thank you for swinging through, sharing your story. As I told you over the phone, you got to keep sharing it and sharing it, not only because it's therapeutic for you, but it's helpful for someone out there who might be going through the same situation and might feel like their hands is tied against their back and it's like the end for them. You're living proof. I'm living proof that you could take the bad, use that as fuel, and come back and hit them harder, because those officers, they try not once, twice, numerous times,
Yeah.
to assassinate your character, to keep you down. And here you are, a published author, a youth mentor, You have your own movement pouring right back into the same community where they try to poison your name, you know. So I appreciate you. Thank you for stopping by. If you could OP real quick, just let the viewers and the listeners know where they could find you at, your page.
Oh yeah, is DJ underscore OP is my Instagram. Facebook, I don't really know it, to be honest. And my books are on Amazon.com. And hopefully today, Sunday, hopefully tomorrow or Tuesday, I'll have part 3 to this out. It's a whole new set of stories. I'm working on part 4. I'm working on a memoir. I'm just working on a whole bunch of stuff for the kids and the youth in the community. And I would like to invite you out. And I want to say
I'll
thank
be
you
there.
so much for allowing me to come in your home
Always, my brother.
and letting me be a guest on your show.
I
And if
appreciate
there's
you, man.
anything that I can do that I haven't done already for you, please reach out to me.
Nah, definitely. You know, I appreciate it. You know, like I said in the beginning when we started rolling, you know, OP, it's just funny come to find out. Here you are behind the scene doing all these things, you know, connecting people, doing this, doing that. And you have your own powerful story to help others. So thank you for swinging through. And there you have it, guys. You know, this is another powerful episode of the Count Podcast in the books. You know where to follow me, Made Up North NYC, and Off the Count Podcast on all social platforms. Of course, you know we got the coaching program in the works. We got the curriculum which we just launched not too long ago, which was a success. Coming this fall, the program will be offered on a full 12-week program, bilingual. So just, you know, stay tuned, man. Made Up North, Off the Count. We have a lot of positive, a lot of great things in the works, all about breaking the cycle, helping brothers and sisters come home from prison, rebuild, and avoid that same trap of recidivism that I fell into. And of course, reaching the youth before the system does. Remember, freedom is not just about being out. It's about what you do with it. Till next time. Peace. My brother.
Thank you, my
OP,
brother.
man. Appreciate you coming through, man.